Goalbuddycast. Goalbuddycast.
These are really nice.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Full Buddy Cast. This is going to be something new. We've got three of the best minds that you've ever probably even listened to together, but they weren't here. So then you got us instead. They couldn't make it. We've got me, Travis Kenney from Full Buddy Cast. You've also may have heard me from other episodes, such as Just Kidding. And then we've also got Sara Johnson here from Grass and Root. Give a whoop whoop.
Hey there.
Oh, wait. You don't sound nervous at all. Hey guys.
Hi.
Don't call me. And then we also got Adam Kenney, my brother. You may have heard him from such episodes as, we're not going to go through that whole thing, but he's been there for Full Brother Cast. He's been there for Boardacious. We talked about board games. He's been there. He was the first episode I've ever done when I was wheezing like a Weezer. And then we've also done other things such as Random Chats with Adam. And I think there's, Happy Little Trees. So you've got a full smorgasbord of Adam Kenney. And now we're going to throw one more at you.
Let's add this one to the failed podcast.
Yes, Adam is, if you walk up to a Pepsi machine, he's got like 12 flavors. You can get anything. Grape, root beer, diet even. This is the diet one because that's a habit. And he's given us, what are these? Oh, Grass
I didn't
and
give
Root.
you anything. These are
how do you do
Sara.
anything is how you do everything. Wow. Did you
Just
come up with that yourself?
Hold on.
No, that's just a quote that I've always kind of used as a mantra or mantra.
Yeah.
Which one? Is it
It's
potato
a
or
mantra.
potato?
It's actually a motto. It's a motto mantra.
Okay. So I mean, for the last 15 years, that has been on every computer screen that I've ever had. It can just make me do things that maybe I want to take a shortcut, but that I can say that to myself and I'll do it the right way.
I like that. Now, we're going to get into this even more. Adam's going to introduce it. But what was on my computer screen for years and years and years was Tom Haverford saying, behind every successful man is me riding his coattails. All right, Adam, go.
Okay, so this So this podcast is it's called Goalbuddycast. Play on words of the Full Buddy Cast.
You can see that one.
I don't know if you picked up on that.
It's a good one.
If you didn't, maybe you should set some goals. So the idea here is that we want to be people who are encouraging the community. Like the community around Full Buddy Cast is growing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, I'd say,
Buzz.
There's a fan base. Right?
Yes.
There's people who want to be involved, and there's people who are
We love them too.
involving themselves.
Can I shout them out? Because I have to as a Patreon. I have to.
Could you record yourself speaking like super fast later and just
I'll do it right now.
I'm just kidding, but yes.
Eric Madrid, Kellen Hall, Casey Scott, Seth Loop, and Hollygraph, and Kanye West.
And Kim, and they're
Kim
not
actually
really...
canceled her Patreon. Go back to you.
Okay, name drops.
I have to. Sorry.
But the idea
Contract.
is, so I was listening to both of you talk on your most recent podcast. I've listened to you speak before, and I thought you two have a very good rapport. And you have so many inside jokes and so much fun, and I just wanted to be a part of that.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what this whole ruse is. No, I just thought that you is my chair squeaky?
No.
I thought I was hearing something.
Oh, the old my chair's squeaky, huh?
It's a squeaky chair. Squeaky. So anyways, so you know what? Never mind. I don't want to be part of your inside jokes.
Hey, thanks for showing up, everyone.
But there's a podcast I listen to. Inside Baseball, there's a podcast I listen to occasionally called Better Quest. And these people, they basically have this idea where they come up with goals for themselves every month, and then they open that up to the community to sort of share their goals, and it's a way to sort of stay accountable.
Okay.
And
so they check in like how often?
Every month. There's a monthly episode.
Is this going to be a monthly thing?
That's what the thought was.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was...
I thought it was daily, but okay.
Well...
You wish.
Achieved my goal. I was up till midnight last night. Achieved it. So So the idea is that we're going to have some, well, really what this episode is us kind of talking about how we want this to go. But my basic idea of how this would sort of flow would be pretty easy going. Everybody has one goal that's sort of somewhat measurable that we share via the podcast. And then we check in a month or so with how we did. And it's like a no judgment zone. We can kind of rib each other a little bit if we want to.
Oh yeah.
But we're not going to, it's not a big griefing session, and people can on Facebook or via whatever other means they want to with Travis, they can, or any one of us, they can sort of share their goal, and we can read those if they'll let us. We can read your goals on the next podcast and then sort of keep you accountable from there on. How does that sound? Does that even make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that it's a really cool twist on our kind of like happy hour group of people that we have around. We're all a bunch of goofballs.
Yes.
But like, I think it's a really cool twist to turn it around and try to encourage people to change their life in a positive direction.
Yeah. And
it's empowering.
It is empowering. And I think of you and Travis to a lesser degree, but you more so as somebody who is a very encouraging presence, and you've seen some business success, you've seen some personal goals fulfilled, right? And I think that can be a inspiring sort of thing. I just think of you as sort of a goal-oriented person. I mean, you have these habit trackers that you've given us, and
habit trackers. We go to many habits to track you.
Habit trackers.
So I'd love to tell you how I came up with these habit trackers. When people order a juice cleanse from me, I feel like they are, and I have thousands of customers, right? And they, I talk to every, I talk to every single one of them, and when I deliver it, and
I've delivered their children.
We're best friends.
What don't you do, Sarah?
I give them life.
Yeah, we hate you.
So I wanted to figure out how, instead of getting a 3-day juice cleanse, how can I empower them? They're already on a mindset of wanting to make a different decision than what they have been. I hear a lot like, oh, I've just been like eating so bad and drinking a lot of wine, and I just need a juice cleanse to like get me restarted right now. Just change the channel.
That's a great idea.
So
But don't change this channel.
No.
Don't touch that dial.
We'll be right back.
So
the
I
habit
came
tracker.
up with this habit tracker.
I just can't get anything done these days. What could help me?
Yes.
The habit tracker.
Habit tracker. We go to
The habit tracker. Habit tracking habits
tracking habits
since 2021.
So I came up with this habit tracker. It's not just totally my own
And
idea.
now we're back.
habit tracker. I feel like
Personal testimonials.
I feel like anytime you say habit tracker, we should have something echoey go habit tracker.
Habit tracker.
Yeah, like in the background, like a wow, wow, wow.
Yes. Oh, yeah, air horn too.
Yeah,
So-
thanks for knowing that was an air horn, because I don't know if I'm not very good at noises.
I thought that was a cat getting chased.
It was my chair.
So that's not an excuse.
Okay, so let's talk.
So hold on, no. Before we talk about anything else, what is the habit tracker?
So, thank you. So,
Could you please tell us?
Hey, one more time, please.
I came up with giving these out with every single one of my cleanses, so that if they're doing a 3 to 7 day cleanse, that this goes to 31 days, that they can, it's encouraging them to come up with a few habits and try to keep that for longer than just their juice cleanse. This isn't just a quick fad diet. I want it to be like a lifestyle that
Gets
is
ingrained.
empowering.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's like it's a dry erase, so you can or is it?
It's not dry erase.
Oh, okay.
I wish those were. I
That'd be
looked that
cool.
up. It was so expensive.
Maybe. Oh, it was okay. Question on the habit tracker. I guess the question I have for you is: do you write down good habits or bad habits or both?
Ooh.
Well, I like to come from a place of empowerment. And so I don't like to say, like, don't drink or don't know candy or something like that. I like to turn it into a positive where I'm not saying no or don't or so that it's more adding value instead of me looking at it and thinking that I've set rules for myself.
Gotcha.
Because rules are hard to follow for yourself. That's why people hire personal trainers, life coaches, stuff like that, because they know that they just can't do it themselves. So
I track habits and I break rules.
I like that.
And I will track you down.
Cash checks, breaking necks, cashing checks, writing them down. Now, so I like Adam's question one more time for a little more clarity. Do you write down like, okay, I noticed that I pick my nose at 5 p.m. every day. I want to stop doing that. So you write down.
I don't know why I left at that. I knew that's a true thing that you do.
Thank you. I've struggled with it since I was 12.
Yeah.
Sorry. Booger.
Okay, that one you put no picking your nose.
there are some rules.
That one you just.
But do I put that down and go, oh, I caught myself? Is it that thing? Or is it where I'm trying to enforce my good habits?
Well, it can be both.
Okay.
And it was largely inspired by a book that I read called Atomic Habits. And it was honestly one of the best books I've ever read. And it's by this guy, James Clear. And he actually has habit trackers that he like sells in books and stuff.
You don't know this yet.
What?
But we got James Clear here. James,
come on out, James.
Come on out, James.
Oh, we got.
Dang it. He stood me up again.
Gerald Clear. Oh, yeah, I'm Gerald Clear. I work as the local bank clerk.
I think we should all read this book.
Okay,
moving
I'm down.
forward.
Okay. I like that.
And so that we can kind of have like a little bit more context and like some more valuable stuff to add to it than
just us going, hey, I did really well on Thursday, but then Friday I sucked.
But one of my big takeaways from that book and one of my favorite things to kind of think about is that if you accomplish your habits, doing what you need to in your day to have a positive life and go in the right direction, that you can increase your life every day by 1%. And that doesn't seem like a lot, right? Because if you say, oh, you can better yourself 1% every day, you're like, oh, okay, well,
100 days in.
I'm not going to. Exactly.
Wow.
But you could also do the same thing in reverse. You could reduce your capacity by 1% every day. And so he's saying that by not living your life with like some type of habits and some structure to it, that you can actually go backwards pretty easily.
Yeah, I think I'm at like negative 3,000% right now. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this.
I like that. Here's the thing. I think there's something to be said. I'm going to read that book. There's something to be said for writing stuff down, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When I started the podcast, I thought this was going to be fun. I didn't write anything down. I had no goals. And then all of a sudden people started like listening to it. And then I was like, whoa, well, maybe. And I got about a bunch of sticky notes about 2 years in. 2 years of podcasting. And I'm like, well, maybe I should probably think about this a little bit harder. And I wrote down like 8 things. And it was figure out how to edit quicker. Like, what were the things that were kind of bothering me, but also what were the things that I wanted to go with it? And I laid it all out. I took a picture of it. And like within 8 months, I didn't look at that thing every day, but it got me thinking about it. And I kind of broke some of those things down a little bit more. Like, what does that look like? What does it look like? Like, if I want to create a thing for editing faster, how fast do I go cut it in half? And what does that look like? And so, but it kind of makes your brain think about it subconsciously. It's so weird. 8 months later, I looked at and I would glance at them here and there, but 8 months later, I looked at it and I had accomplished every single one of those things without me really focusing on it. But it was already turning the ship that direction. And then I wrote down, I'm going to do another 8. And I wrote down another 8 and I took a picture of it. And the same thing, from getting merchandise to doing live shows to doing events at other areas to bringing in other guests, and I've accomplished again all those 8 things. And so now it's like, well, do you get? I'm a little timid now to go, well, I'm accomplishing these things, but do I write the big goals down? The ones that are like, holy cow, should I be doing this? Maybe some people out there are like, I want to lose 150 pounds. That's a huge goal. And so I'm a little scared to do that.
Yeah.
Does that book kind of help? It kind of like making clearer goals and just like big ones that scare the crap out of you?
Yeah, well, that's really interesting because I think that there's a difference between habits and goals. I think if you have great daily habits that you're doing every day, I think you're more likely to be successful in your bigger goals as well. But the bigger goals, those are really interesting. And I think that there's a level of vulnerability that you have to be willing to go to share those. Like, I mean, it's really scary to announce those things and announce what you want. And I mean, even at work, I don't have a manager right now. I wish I did because I suck at managing myself. But like at work, if you have a one-on-one with your manager and you're like, I want to get promoted to manager, or I want to get promoted to lead, and then you have to say that, and then you're like sitting there and you're saying it, but you're actually thinking like, what if she doesn't think I have that in me? But the crazy thing about saying what you want, and I've learned this so many times from Grass and Root, that all of a sudden, like every time I need help or I say what I want and I get vulnerable about it, like all of a sudden I have like this army of juice babes behind me. Like people just come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh, your fridge broke. I have one in my garage right now. It's not a commercial one, but if you wanted to use it to just get you by, like, here you go. Like they just like start throwing stuff at me and I always survive. And I do take the help, and sometimes I don't need it. I'm getting better at recovering on my own. But so I think that you should I think that we should be talking about daily habits, but also be talking about big goals and what we can be doing in small steps in the next 30 days to get there.
I'm in.
Yeah. I think that if you have, I think most of us have some sort of a large goal, if not more. And I think if we can, the purpose of this podcast is to move us closer to those by thinking of smaller, measurable habits or goals that we can try to get into.
Okay.
I think, within the month.
All right. So to the moon. Are we going into goals yet? What are we doing?
Yeah. So everybody's okay with kind of the structure of just sort of a monthly thing, talking about doing measurable goals, something that is simple and kind of clear. So like, I think one of the ideas, like losing weight, for instance, I think a lot of people.
My brother just pointed right at me as if that's mine. It's not mine.
Yeah.
He knows I would have broke all your new equipment if you pointed at me.
You know why we all are here, probably, right? Losing weight. Right? I mean, at least you guys are.
No.
I do want to lose some of my Corona weight that I put on this winter because it's in line with like my lifestyle and my business, and I think that that's important.
But you're bulking. That's the thing. We're trying to bulk up, right? So you got to eat a little bit more, and then you can just put those into muscle.
Right.
Is this what you keep telling yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing this for years.
So, anyways. No, the reason I mentioned weight loss is because I think it's a pretty common goal.
Yeah.
So, but if you need to lose 80 pounds or something like that.
And he looks at me again.
Because I'm talking to you. Is that like... If you reach out to us, or if one of us has a goal that is like is a month, are you gonna be able to do that in a month?
Are people going to reach out to us on this?
Yeah. So community involvement. This is what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Sort of the idea of having the Facebook group or something. People can sort of say what their goals are, and we can sort of track that, help them track that, and help encourage them.
So how do we get the listener to do that? Like,
so the idea would be to release this episode and say these are our goals.
Yeah.
What are your goals?
Right.
And they can comment either on Facebook or however they would comment, or reach out to you or whatever. Send you an email with something that they
DM me.
Yeah, and you'd have to be okay with us reading that goal. We don't necessarily have to say your name, your full name, or whatever.
Yeah, we'll be super discreet.
But
no kidding, we will.
But like, I think part of this is if you are
Jeff from Bellevue says
no, but if Jeff from Bellevue wants the accountability on it, then he can partake in that. So like if you are willing to have your name or your feet kind of held to the flames a little bit, we're here to sort of help keep you accountable, because that's what we're doing. Like Sarah said, being vulnerable can be a huge key in actually achieving your goals, because you can.
Okay, so this is
put yourself out there.
Yeah, I want to figure this out, but
so the idea of like losing a bunch of weight, maybe you say, well, I want to
lose 20 pounds by.
Well, not even. You could go numerical. You could say whatever. Maybe it's I want to go on 3 hikes this month or something like that. Like find an interesting way to sort of achieve that goal. Something
Okay.
you might like. Maybe you don't like hiking. Maybe you want to shoot some hoops with some friends or something. I don't know. But
I
think
wanna-
outside the box a little bit.
I want to walk up a flight of stairs without heaving for the next 2 minutes.
So then you should just walk upstairs for the entire month.
Well, that's definitely going to be a thing that I'm going to do, Adam. So then if you reach out, are we going to make our own? If we get a big response, are we going to start our own? Because I don't know how people would feel about, because a lot of full buddy people are super sarcastic. That's
Sure.
why they like full buddy casts. They like
Sure.
to be sarcastic. They like to tear people down and tear me down specifically. And I appreciate that. But are we going to create our own what if we create our own private group? If we have a big response, we will go. I will create a Goalbuddycast private Facebook group, and then that's the safe space.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I say I want to do this, and I'm going to be as super vulnerable as possible when I say it, and then people will either heart it. Like it, but we got to encourage each other.
So I think that this is kind of a flip side to having a good community of sarcastic people, is that everybody who's sarcastic usually also has some amount of
Defensiveness,
no,
low
some amount
self-esteem,
no,
tear other people down.
no. Are you being sarcastic? Or
No, I'm dead serious.
Okay. Well, sure.
Loneliness.
I think that there's some sort of a bond that they want to have with who they're being sarcastic.
Oh yeah, that's
with.
what I meant the whole time. I didn't mean the real stuff.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that your community, if you just say, well, my community is really sarcastic,
Yeah,
so they're terrible people,
They are
then they probably, I would think that some of them would.
not like to hear that.
I'd like to be pleasantly surprised that you
Yeah.
can put this up in Full Buddy Cast right out there and let people say what they want to say. Let them say their goals
Yeah,
or habits that they want to change and then or work on. And then I think that we can hope that people don't dig into people.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it doesn't even have to be like a self-improvement thing. It could be something like, well, I've always wanted to.
run a marathon,
Sure. Or I've always wanted to.
eat broccoli,
Or I've always wanted to.
fight my dad.
Finish my brother's sentences every time.
Start a wing competition and eat them
Dude,
claw.
Exactly.
That's
something
true.
like
That's a
that. Like
great
that.
idea.
That's a goal. You could have a total positive goal of I've always wanted to make a video for YouTube or something like that.
Yeah,
What do you want to do that you haven't
leg
done
wrestle
yet?
Bobby Martinez and win.
Exactly. Good luck at that. But yeah, it doesn't have to be some sort of a thing where you're putting yourself out there and being like, oh gosh, everybody's gonna know I have psoriasis and I need to do something about it, right?
Right.
Which, by the way, I don't have psoriasis, but I might have some amount of it. I don't know. I'd rather not dive into that.
Okay, what is psoriasis?
It's like a skin condition
Do
that
you
I
have
totally don't have, but
Okay.
somebody might, and that's
Your
okay.
ex Patreon Kim Kardashian has psoriasis.
Oh, she does?
talks about it a lot.
Okay,
Mhm.
see. Well, that's probably I never acknowledged it on Full Buddy Cast, and so that's probably why she canceled. So, are we coming up with our own?
So yes, and I can, if you want, I can set the tone for that.
Wait, can we all do it all at once right now?
What?
No.
Everyone, get in there. Come on, do
No,
it.
You want to do
no,
an own?
No, because I want to set mine up a
We're
little
going
bit.
to set the tone together right now.
Oh, you are really on a different wavelength.
I'm not doing this.
That's full ability. Oh, now
What
she
is
doesn't.
it? What are we doing?
We're setting the tone.
The dial tone.
Lower. That's good. That's going to sound really good. People are going to be driving in their cars, and people are like, "What are they listening to?"
I saw a Howard Stern episode like that.
Oh yeah, no, the movie.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It was my chair.
It was my chair. I get that. I get that joke from earlier. All right, Adam. Are you gonna be? Who wants to be rock paper scissors? Oh, you set the tone.
Like I said, yeah, I kind of tell you what I'm thinking. At
Do
least. Maybe that would help get the ball rolling. So I have a lot of different goals, and I think that among them are, one of my sort of blind spots in life is discipline, consistency, and having that sort of integrity to keep going with something. But I think that one of the things that keeps me from that is the fact that I also kind of I don't have as clear of a mind because my space isn't very clear, and I operate better with a clearer space. And so my goal this month is to declutter my living space more. And that's not that. Are you thinking the same thing?
Are you getting rid of my stuff?
No. I'll put that. Well, declutter could just mean organizing.
Oh.
So that's going to go in the never open category and keep in a tiny box somewhere safe. But just the idea of like getting rid of some stuff, organizing some stuff. And this one's going to be kind of tough to measure other than my idea is to sort of like keep a tally of what I'm chucking so that, or what I'm selling or what I'm organizing so that I can kind of come back and come back and report on it, or at least I can know that I've done some groundwork there. So I feel like that's super important for me to just have a really important for me and important for my wife to have a space that can help set us up to start building better routines and help building better habits and things.
Totally.
Like that. Yeah.
So habit tracker, then what would go on your habit tracker for that? Like, would it be like at 5 minutes a day, I'm going to like, what does it mean?
So, well, I haven't put much thought into how I would use the habit tracker for that, but I would think something like that, where it's like, one habit I'd like to get into that would help me with decluttering is, taking care of the mail as soon as it comes in. Because that mail can stack up.
That's a tall glass of milk.
That's actually not bad.
Jeez.
I've
got a box of mail.
Yeah, I have mail in
I have to find a mail
areas.
too.
Yeah, so
I have no mail.
Box of mail?
I have...
Find a mail?
Yeah, I have a box of mail. I blow them up every weekend. I make sure to put them away before anyone comes over.
Okay.
But that would be one thing that I could try to create a habit around.
How's your email inbox?
I was clearing out the 5,000 unread emails that I had the other day, and it's down to about 4,000.
Is there a point where you just say, let it go? Is there some things
I think there's some things that I just need to get off the mailing list on.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's a nice habit to get into, is like when you see an email come in that you're like, okay, I bought this 6 years ago to hit that unsubscribe. That's a game changer. And I'm not always that good at it, but when I do it, it does feel like I just killed it right there. Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand just about decluttering in general, whether it's your email or whatever, your desktop or virtual or real, it's like it actually saves you time in the long run because you end up having less sort of small fires to put out all the time.
Right. And I feel like I'm glad that you mentioned like in real life and virtual cleanup, because it does make a difference to like know where your resume's at exactly on your computer, or have your pictures organized or anything like that, because it just frees up space in your head. Mm-hmm. If you're not like, if you get it out of the way, it frees up space. And I don't even really know what that's about. Yeah,
it's weird. I mean, our brains are sponges, right? They just hang on to so many things. And I think if you check a box in your brain, then it's like, okay, I can also erase, like defragment something in my brain.
Right.
Not have to worry about it.
I also wanted to organize. I actually just went to IKEA the other day and I got like some inside drawer organizers. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, we need some of those for sure, especially for the bathroom. We have these big, like, deep drawers, and it's like, if I put my stuff in there standing up, it's going to fall over. I need something to separate.
Right.
Things.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's like me getting older or what, but like I really like opening up one of my drawers and having it be, or like there's a satisfaction to that is incredible. It's like a little treat. But then now that I actually say that, I didn't even realize that that's what James Clear talks about in that book, Atomic Habits, is that if you're trying to change something, that you have to have like a reward at the end. Mm-hmm. Like brushing our teeth. We do that because we like the minty flavor and we like the feeling of clean teeth afterwards. That's the satisfaction that we get from it. And there kind of always has to be that.
Yeah, and I think that there's kind of an intrinsic satisfaction to cleanliness in general. Like there's a reason why there's hoarders TV shows. It's because it's like these people, you look at their lives and they have mental issues, usually related to the hoarding. Travis?
I look around.
This is a very organized hoard section.
Wow.
It is. But I think that like one of the first things, so my wife is studying to be a school counselor. She's almost done in a couple months. And through learning some of the things she's been learning, through reading some of the books and materials, as well as just being online and watching videos from clinical psychologists and stuff, a lot of them say the first thing you can do if you want to take control of your life is make your bed every morning. And it's like,
yes,
that's a great first step to a day.
Yeah. But that's how bed bugs, someone said that too. The warmth, seriously, the warmth of you getting out and then you covering the bed, dead serious. It is a breeding ground for bed bugs. So if
I've been listening to you, but like, do bed bugs just like spontaneously come out of nowhere?
No, but if you have them, it's like a warm area for them. That's why they're down below where your feet are, is because that's where it's usually warm. You kick them down, you don't ever change them or whatever. That's why they're down there. So here,
never make your bed.
Or pull it completely off, let it air out. But then when you come back to bed, boom, so you don't have, it's an easy transition.
So as I come up with like little helpful tips, you're just going to undercut every single one of them with some science fact,
okay,
quote unquote.
Bugs.
Okay, sorry.
Bed bugs, scare tactics.
Hey, I'm going to go walk in the middle of the woods without a compass. That's my goal. Well, then you're going to get lost.
Please do. We'd love it. I think we'd really enjoy that.
I'll drop you off.
Well, that's not my goal. My goal.
So a morning routine is a really great way. There's a whole bunch of articles that I've read and books and all kinds of things about how critical a morning routine is. That like all of like really successful people all do the same thing every morning.
Yeah.
And that was one of my goals actually that I'm always kind of trying to work on. I've been really good at it the last like about month, is having a morning routine.
Yeah. I've heard in step with that sometimes it doesn't matter how late you stay up as long as you're still getting up at the same time every morning. Have you heard that? Like having that.
I have not heard that. So basically, if you're getting whether 5 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep, it's just when you wake up.
It's better to get up at the same time, even if it's costing you sleep, because it has to do with your sort of body. I don't even know what it's like.
Your algorithm.
Your clock. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Your body's clock. So that's why you should usually get a set amount of sleep and have a bedtime and a wake up time. But anyways, and I'll notice that like my wake up time is usually 6:15, and if I sleep until 6:30, then I'm groggy for a while that day, or I'll have a headache or something like that.
Yeah. If I get drunk one night and stay up late and I wake up at noon, I'm a lot happier than if I woke up at 6:15.
Okay, I mean, that may be true. There are exceptions to every rule. Okay.
6:15.
So what's your
I
goal?
just learned a
So
lot
what's your
about
goal?
you about that
So is-
6:15.
So
Yes.
is your goal get more organized?
Mine is to get more organized.
And what's your habit to do that?
I want to leave it. I'm more successful with habits when I leave it a little bit more open-ended, that it's just organize something every day. And
Okay.
it doesn't have to be, it's not 30 minutes of organization every day.
Right.
That's too constricting
Right.
for me, because maybe I can look at what I've done historically. I can look at this habit tracker when I leave it open-ended like that. I can look at it and say, okay, oh geez, I haven't gotten anything done today. I'm going to go like quick organize something that is minute. Maybe just clear off the top of my desk, which is something I would probably not do otherwise. So just like go in and like rapid fire a couple things, or if it's working out, I don't say like work out, do a 1 hour yoga class or something. It's like, no, my workout could be 5 minutes of like jumping jacks, those terrible mountain climbers, like just doing some push-ups and sit-ups really quick, just like get your blood pumping a little bit.
Yeah.
And then being like, that's all I've got in me. But the fact is that you've done it, and that's creating the habit. The habit isn't 60 minutes. The habit is that you changed your mind to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
The hard decision for mine is just, do I want to do this professionally? Do I want to do this personally? Do I want to do this physically? Do I want to do this emotionally? Do I want to do this spiritually? I mean, like, what do I really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And so is yours bleeding into your work? Is it bleeding into are you trying to say you want to be more organized work-wise, or more because you said you bought those IKEA, Was that for your truck? Was that for you?
No, that was just for like my dresser drawer because my dresser is just a mess. And so I want like nice little organized categories in there.
Personally.
But that's also good for your it's personal, but I mean, a personal category could be split up into emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, whatever. Like that can fulfill all those needs, just having that little bit of organization.
Yeah. And I think that like something like that, if your clothes are organized and they're clean and they're hung up and I'm not great at that. Okay. I'm not a very good laundry person. But if all of that's done, then you can wake up in the morning and do your morning routine and you aren't scrambling to find a matching pair of socks. It's that like, it's those little things that are kind of like what you were saying about the clutter that I feel like is another kind of clutter where it's not necessarily the physical clutter that you're looking at, but it's like the scrambling, like that's taking up headspace when you could just be like grabbing your socks, putting them on and like walking out the door with your coffee. And that feels
well, you want
really
more than just socks on if you're walking out the door with your coffee.
I hope so. I'd scare the shit out of some people.
My goal is for you to wear more clothes.
That's really, we talked about this beforehand. That's both of our goals. Please, Sarah.
No, so here's the thing. When I used to coach basketball, it hit me. It's so funny when you have something where you're like either managing or you're coaching or you're a parent and you start like explaining something to somebody else and you realize, holy crap, I'm terrible at this. Like this is like really good for me to know myself. And at the time, I was struggling with staying up late and going to bed at a terrible hour and then waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I'm so exhausted. And when I was coaching basketball for kids, I realized that when people pass the ball, when kids pass the ball, they're passing it lower or away from the kids. And I was telling them, you're not setting your buddy up. You want to set your buddy up. That's a good pass. Get it to where it's chest high, something where they can pivot real quick or they can do a dribble. But if they're chasing the ball and catching it at their ankles, you're not really setting them up to really perform well. And then I realized I was doing the same thing. Night Travis was passing the ball to Morning Travis like a dick. And so Morning Travis would wake up and hate Night Travis. Night Travis was having the time of his friggin' life. But Morning Travis just absolutely hated Night Travis. And so I realized I wasn't setting myself up right. And I think that's kind of where my goal is going to be now is to identify ways where future Travis is angry at past Travis, whether that's gambling or whether that's time or whether that is putting a crunch on myself where I'm like, oh man, that was dumb of me. So I think I want to kind of track this habit. There's like for 1 month, there's like 10 slots. So I don't know if this is supposed to be used monthly or you can reuse it, but
it's not dry erase.
I think I'm going to probably identify in that habit tracker, maybe some bad habits that are not setting me up for the best. And then I think next podcast, when we get together, I'll have a better idea. So basically my goal is to set myself up better.
So your goal would be to write out some things that you want to.
Yeah, that's my goal. Well, my goal for right now, because I'm trying to decide when you've got so much going on. I work 40 hours a week. The podcast is like 20 hours of recording, editing, uploading. I've got a family. I've got my own interests. I got a friend group that demands time on a text chain. That could be a thing I hear.
I have a friend group that demands 0 of my time because I'm never invited.
But yeah, so I'm literally just at that point where I just want to see where I want to identify like, Travis is mad at past Travis for this moment, and it's because past Travis this week didn't set him up right.
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion to that?
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is you want to take a couple weeks here
and
to do like some major self-reflection.
Yeah.
And I think that instead of writing that on the habit tracker, I think that maybe you should set up like 2 lists of what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
So what doesn't work doesn't have to necessarily, it's, I don't know. I like that because it's less negative. It's not like you were wrong. It's like, oh, this doesn't really work that well.
Mm-hmm.
List it out is what you're saying.
Two lists.
So that
Two
then,
lists.
so you can take a look at like, oh, that was awesome last night when I made sure that my coffee cup was sitting next to the coffee maker, and then I almost felt like I treated myself in the morning when it was right there.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. So I've done that. Laid my clothes out. Get a towel, hang it up for the shower in the morning. Like, get my slippers near. Like, I spent 3 hours last night trying to find my wallet. Like, that's the stuff that's a time waster that I could spend so much more time doing other things. Even
Totally.
like picking my nose is way better than trying to find my wallet for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I have you guys already know, 5 o'clock.
We know you need to pick that
tough
nose.
time with that. But yeah, so I think it's setting yourself up. So I like that idea. When I've done this is a life hack for you guys. If you're coffee drinkers, you guys like cream in your coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
No, you don't. Okay.
Well,
Do you
I
like a
try
flavor?
to do dairy free unless it's cheese. Then I'm
You put
probably-
cheese in your coffee? Is what you're
No,
saying?
I mean, I'm
Only
very,
the finest.
right now I have oat milk in my coffee.
You have oat milk?
hmm
What does that mean?
It's like goat milk. But,
It's like
but not
it's
gangsta.
It's
milk
less
that's made
G.
of oats. They like let the oats like
Oh, the oats just free range around the farm?
yeah, and the oats have little tits, and and they milk them.
I got nipples, Fokker. So since you guys don't care about this, but maybe a listener does out there, that one listener.
I
Hey
don't
guys,
care.
do this. This is what I was doing. I was wasting so much time and energy. And like, do I go back to the refrigerator and get that peppermint creamer out? This is what I've done instead. If I'm home alone and I've brewed myself a pot of coffee, I am done going to getting that creamer every time I refill. What I'm doing now is I'm brewing that pot of coffee, and then I'm pouring the creamer directly into the pot of coffee. And now I'm just taking one pour into my coffee cup. I'm eliminating going back and forth to the refrigerator, and now save myself some time.
Streamlined
It's
good 20 seconds out of that.
It's
routine.
but multiple
Sure.
multiple times. Oh,
That's a 1% change.
it's the worst. Anyway,
Yeah.
so there you go.
That's good. I like this two lists idea, the what works and what doesn't work, because
What if
I like
What
I
if
like
my
writing
list
lists.
doesn't work, and immediately I put it in my. This isn't
What
working.
doesn't work? This list.
This double list thing.
Well,
Not
Ooh.
working for me.
I'm a big double lister, though. I love double listing. I like listing. First off, just one list.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm putting two lists together, I'm double listing. I love it.
the more lists, the better.
The more lists, the better. Sometimes I'll call up my neighbors and I'll see if they got lists. This is Sara. I tell you, Sara is hilarious on the text chain. Of just me and her on the text chain. Sorry, Adam.
It's all right. I was funny a little bit.
Yeah, Adam was killing
Thank
it the
you,
other
Sara.
day.
Oh, yeah, you were.
I dunked on you.
You were
He
dunking
dunked.
on me big time.
Yeah.
I was Steve Scheffler trying to get in the game, and every time I try to get in the game, I was the Looney Tune trying to walk across the street, looked like, oh, it's completely clear.
Yeah,
And then I put my toe on it, and Adam ran me over like a friggin' freight train. It
yeah,
I wasn't even trying to.
was great.
Just worked.
yep.
So yeah,
you
good
weren't.
job. Where's that double list?
All right. So, all right. I think we got some good goals.
So DM us.
DM, not me personally.
Yeah, do that. Why not? If people, because see, maybe more people. There might be some people that think you are a little more relatable than I am. So they might send something to you.
Okay.
Same thing with Sara.
Yep.
It might get lost in my, if I'm not friends with you, it might get lost in my like generals.
My
or whatever.
emails that I'm clearing out. I may have to hit unsubscribe at some point.
Don't mail
I've
me
got some.
anything.
I've got some goals for you, Travis.
Travis just talked in
Be-
his real voice.
Nicer.
Okay, I will be nicer. That's
I
on my-
do want to know
that's on
how
my-
we're ending this episode without Travis actually saying a goal.
I-
Isn't that interesting
because-
on a vulnerability scale?
All right, fine.
The most sarcastic person I know, the funny guy, is having a hard time just
You want me to be
really
real?
letting his heart bleed.
I want.
Well, hold up. Don't get too real. Don't like get pushed into like jumping.
Okay, fine. I want to lose 150 pounds.
Into the too real category. I just need to stop murdering people and put them in my truck.
I just need to murder them in public.
That got weird.
That got weird. I've been watching a lot of Mafia. Anyway, Mafia movies. Okay, so here's my goal, guys.
I'll clear my throat for you.
I feel like I want to take the next step with the podcast.
What is the next step?
I want to get to a point where I'm being able to do it more of a full-time thing. And that scares me. So what you're saying is I put my 2 weeks on Monday.
So like what this is what about Bob? So you're saying
Did you get fired today and now you're trying to like build a story around this 2 weeks?
I don't think
maybe it's not my wife.
Wait.
Who I left.
You're saying my wife left me.
Ow.
I did not lose my job. I've never felt more relied upon right now for my job in my life from any other career I've ever had. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of projects I'm involved in. So I don't know if this is a good outlet. Maybe that's what I'm kind of focusing on. So see, that's what I want to weigh things. Like it's like, am I looking at this as like the grass is always greener, or I'm running from the pressures at work right now? Am I making this clear decision? It is a passion of mine. I have dreams, guys. Like, no joke. It's not like, hey, I have dreams, writing this down. I'm like, sleep at night and in my dreams, just being able to do this full time. I wake up, I think about it. So then I'm like, well, maybe I'm thinking about it too much. Maybe I need to put that on the list, right? Is this thing too much? So here. That's me being vulnerable. That's why why I'm like, I got to try to figure things out. The easy route for me is just to say, oh, I got to find a goal. But I don't know what's working and what's not working. And I think I need to figure that out first.
Okay.
Well, I took a passion project into a full-time career, and it's now grass and root. So it was really hard.
You're Mel Gibson.
It was really hard to
do it.
It was hard to do it, but it was also equally hard to go from like understanding that is what I wanted to do, and then like the little baby steps to get to the place where I was like committed.
Yeah.
So there's a whole process to it.
And so what Sean McDonald's been doing with Brouhaha, he's been bringing other brewers in, and you may resonate with this, where they sit there and they go, man, 2 years ago when I started this brewery, or 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, at the time, I was like, well, this is what I need to do, and I'm just going to do this. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go put all this money into this like commercial brewing factory. And then you look back on it 2 years later and go, what was I thinking? That was the craziest thing I probably could have done. And I look back, and they look back at it now, and they go, I was insane. Like, I would never do that again. And so, anyways, I don't know. Did you ever feel that way with like?
Oh yeah.
Like that was like, what was I actually thinking when I was doing this?
And I also think back to like the decisions I was making, and I think that they're ridiculous because I've changed the business model, my operations, my equipment. I've changed all of that so many times. And but yeah, and then I also think back to when I started that, and I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 30, 31 when I started like getting into juicing and doing it for my coworkers and bringing it into the office and stuff. And
now you're 42.
I was
just killing it.
Gutless at the time though. Like I didn't have good habits. There was just like a girl floating around. She didn't have like.
But did you ever have like people in the back of your mind saying, but why Sarah Johnson, and why juice? Like, what does Sarah Johnson know about juice?
Yeah.
What does Sarah Johnson? Did you have like people like you were thinking what like you were putting thoughts in people's heads that they're thinking about you, where they're like, who does she think she is that she can just be some juice lady? Let there be juice, as if with her. Did you have those thoughts?
Absolutely.
Did you hear those things? Did you ever actually hear maybe a rumor of someone saying that about you? Like, why is Sarah Johnson doing juice? Like, did you actually hear people say, oh, yeah, I was talking to so-and-so, and they were like, what's juice? What's this juice thing?
You know what? There was only one person that said anything like that, and it was my ex-boyfriend. And he's
an ex for a reason, Adam Kenney.
Yeah, he's a narcissist. And he actually told me, he was like, I don't think you can do this. And then we broke up like maybe within the next 6 months, we broke up. And soon as we broke up, I went and got my hair cut. Yeah. And I told this brand new gal in Seattle, her name's Roxy, we're still friends. That was the first time I had met her when she was cutting it was a breakup haircut. It's a thing that gals do. Oh, I know that. You have to have hair to do it.
Okay.
Can
I cut my hair?
Zing! That was good.
So, and I told her, I know this is crazy, but I think I want to start a juice truck. And she was like, absolutely.
Do it.
And then that was crazy because then once I verbalized it, she had a neighbor that was putting on for free a small business class
this
of
is what I'm
women.
Talking about right here.
That's why, yes. And so it's like literally from that point forward, and I didn't know it at the time, but you have to verbalize these things and you just get so much more momentum because then all of a sudden someone's going to come with like more, if they know that this isn't just you fooling around, that they're going to come.
Be more serious with it.
Yeah.
Now, when you went back to the hog dog, did you tell him?
That was
did
not.
Did you say, look at me now? Look at me. It wasn't the hog dog?
No, it wasn't. And then I did end up getting back together with him like 3 or 4 months later.
Up. Mm-hmm. And then just to leave him again and be like, hey, look at me now.
Well, we still had some mutual friends, and he had heard that I was starting a business.
Was doing it, and was he a little impressed? Did he eat a little crow? Was there any conversation where you're like...
He doesn't eat crow, but I think, yes. I think
he's a vegetarian.
Deep down, I mean, if he were to get hypnotized and really say what like was deep down in his black soul, that yes... he would have ate some crow. He probably actually eats crow because he's like a black soul.
He's devil. Did you ever get like red lipstick, red wine drunk and just be like, you said I couldn't do it and now look at me? Did you ever do that?
I don't know. That was a while ago. We did have conversations about that. And then, then he acted really supportive. And then as I was like gaining momentum and I pitched, how I got the money.
The Shark Tank.
I did something similar to Shark Tank but it was local.
Yeah.
As I was getting a lot of traction for that, like he was deteriorating quickly. Mm. He did not like that. Sad. He was like taking me out at the kneecaps.
That's actually sad.
Every opportunity. He'd be like, well, I just think you should just do it. I just think you should do it. And I'm like, I am doing it. I'm like, literally, I have $50,000 on the line coming from an investor in Seattle. Like, that's, what more could I do? I've been written up in GeekWire already, and I don't even have a thing going on. Yeah, it's like, come on, knock it off. But it's all in due time, and it's really not up to us. Somebody else is involved in how it all goes down. It's the big guy.
It's the big guy.
Mm-hmm. And it all, I feel like things always just kind of stack day by day, right? The 1% thing. And I think that's probably
exactly
focused.
What you're all talking about anyways. The idea of, like you were saying, you look back and you're like, what was I thinking in certain ways? Mm-hmm. And you've changed a lot, but it's all iteration, right?
Yeah. It's all an iteration. I actually learned that word about 5 years ago. Did not know what that meant. I had to look it up about 12 times and read it. If you guys don't know what that means,
it means just as you
it's a short
do and redo, you're kind of improving the more you concentrate on something. You're iterating on something. We learned a lot about that when I was in college with art, especially like character design or something like that. You wouldn't want to keep doing passes and passes and passes on it until you're very happy with what you have. Which sometimes you can never be completely happy with what you have, but you got to.
And that's why we have goals. Mm-hmm. And that's why we have habit trackers, because we're not completely happy, and we want to just kind of keep roughing the edges up just a little bit, smoothing them out.
I'm pretty rough around the edges.
I'm really rough. So I also thought that we were all gonna give each other goals.
No.
Oh, okay. When's that episode?
That's not a thing.
If you have a suggestion for me. I would love to hear what Travis Kenney thinks I should be doing to be more successful in life.
Oh, that's a good one.
To go denied.
See, yeah.
No, but
Full
really,
Buddy Cast isn't sarcastic.
I like that.
I love to hear what you have to say.
I do like
That's a
that
really
kind of
good voice.
feedback though, because a lot
Very
of times, I mean, we have a lot of blind spots.
Yeah,
Sure.
And if you
Bald
have
spots.
a good, yeah, you have a lot of those.
Blinding bald spots.
I don't get it.
But if you are around people that like love and trust you, or that you love and trust, and that's a relationship there, then I want to be vulnerable enough to hear difficult things from people if it's coming from a place of like truly empowering me.
Mm-hmm.
But not if it's like, I don't like when you wear your hair like that, or some
Well, then I'm
bullshit.
done. I don't have anything for you then.
Can I say bullshit?
I just said dick. You said tits, and now we say bullshit. Let's hit it all. Adam?
This is silly.
Yeah, no, sorry. Earmuffs. Yeah, no, I can understand what you're saying. I just feel like the closest somebody is to you, they're going to see those blind spots, but it's also the hardest to hear it from that person because you've also seen their blind spots. And you almost want to just say, "Oh, well, you're like this," or "Oh, yeah, well, I'm like, okay, well, you're like," and it
very much depends on who it is. Like,
right, and how it's done.
Yeah, my wife and I were just talking about this. It's like I know she can take certain. I mean, I think our friends.
Go, keep going there.
I was just gonna say, she can have conversations with her friends, and they can talk about things that are maybe a little sensitive for her, as we all have our sensitivities, in a way that her and I sometimes can't because she sees all of my warts.
Warts?
My warts and my psoriasis.
We're back on that.
No, but like it can be difficult sometimes to take criticism, or I have a tough time taking criticism.
Do you?
For sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
I got a whole list for you.
I've gotten better at it, but it's tough. It's really tough. It's really easy to get defensive about stuff like that.
It is. And that's something I'm always kind of trying to work on too. And that was something that's just come about since I started Grass and Root, and I've been on a roller coaster ride and constantly trying to be the best version of myself, which can be a pretty shitty version sometimes, But with there's a lot of stuff about like emotional intelligence though, and being super open-minded, and I'm always trying to be more like that. Like, wouldn't it be so cool to be like not defensive at all and someone
But I think that defensiveness is a good thing mentally. And the reason I say that,
I think conviction might be a good thing mentally.
well, defensiveness is going to be like, it's down the road. Because you're like, I got really defensive about that. Why was I so defensive about that? But man, that just lit a fire underneath me, and I was ready to rip that person's face off.
I see, like an internal. I see. Okay, like,
Yeah, and
like you recognize the fact that got
Just because-
that hit a nerve. Of
Yeah,
something.
and why is it hitting a nerve? And then you may be going down the road of, well, if that ever comes up again, I don't really want that to come up again. So I'm going to work in a way, identify what I need to work on, and then work in a way where they can at least see that there's probably something there that's true, and I'm going to work towards it.
But I think you could still do that without being defensive. Like, I think what Sarah's saying is, like, if she can take criticism without being defensive, she's still taking seriously the criticism that she's taking. She's just not taking it as hard, and she may still be constructive with it.
So what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying that.
No, wait, what are you trying to say? No, say a little clearer next time.
Are you beginning?
I think
Yes.
I think you're wasting a lot of time in between when you get defensive and when you figure out that there may be some truth to what that person's saying. Instead, you could say, oh, okay, thanks for the feedback, and stew on it in your own head, and then not have that like in between time.
I can see that.
I don't want, hey, chill out. I don't want to piss you off.
It's all right,
right now.
bro.
Travis will, he's going to bottle it up. He's going to think about it later.
Oh, hey
He'll
guys,
come back
I'm
with a
really
better
pissed
attitude.
off at both of you right now. So hey, who wants to DM me? I'm going to tell you some dirty secrets about everybody. Ah, just kidding. But please DM us. Sarah,
Yep.
where can we
Slide
find
into
you?
my DMs. What?
Where can we find you at?
Sarah M. Johnson on Facebook or Grass and Root.
Sarah with an
I would
H?
prefer that this was more of a personal thing so that it's not going through Grass and Root. Grass
Yeah.
and Root, if that's,
Yeah, we're not promoting things.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying if they want to message me, don't hit me up through Grass and Root. Like, hit me up on my personal, either at Sarah Marie 6350 on Instagram or Sarah M Johnson on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm a loudmouth in all of the groups, so I mean,
Yeah,
you
you'll
can
see
find
me.
me real quick.
Oh my gosh, especially on the Club discussion board. What a over here. It's just a trumpet, like a Charlie Brown trumpet lady over here.
That was my chair.
Adam, where can we find you?
You can find me. You know what? I'm going to say
Stage B at Fox's mail escort service.
what? No,
I'll cut that out.
thank you.
No, I won't.
You don't have to. It's just don't. Yeah, be vulnerable with your bad jokes. So I kind of, in a similar way, like one of the things that I'm trying to do is take a step back from social media a little bit.
Okay.
So if you want to actually message me, just email me at AdamKen.
We just talked about how you're clearing out your emails.
No, but that's all like stupid junk mail.
Okay, all right.
Like if you're an actual person and you want to send me a message, you can do so at adamken47@gmail.com. ADAMKEN.
AdamKen47
at
gmail.com. Guys, just DM me on Facebook or Instagram. I will respond within 30 seconds. I got a great rating. Just kidding. But I I will respond at some
I
point.
will be on your doorstep.
I'm here to encourage you. If you have ideas for me, let's do it. I'll hear it, and then I'll block you.
Yeah, I don't think you need to give us ideas about ourselves.
Well,
I don't think that's not a thing. We're not going to do that to other people. We're not going to do that to each other.
but for me,
Shot down.
don't.
Here's an idea, Travis. We're not going to do that.
Adam Ken 47. Don't send it to him. But if you think that you've kind of gone through the same thing with me that I have, and you've noticed some things, and you want me to just kind of maybe not give me goals, but give me something to chew on.
What about? Sorry, I am interrupting you, and I recognize that, and I'm okay with it. What if you formulate it this way, where it's less like, hey, here's some criticisms of you, but more of like, if you have ideas for where this
That's what I'm
podcast
saying.
could go.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. If you have
Give me
ideas,
something to chew on.
yeah, where this podcast could go, how we can improve it,
Gnaw on it
something
for a
like
while.
that.
All right. Please do that. Thanks for listening. We will do this every month. Adam is committed for the next 12 months, every month to get together. Sarah as well, 12 months.
Every month.
Every month.
We'll get together.
We won't be undersold. Pie in the face. Jack Roberts.
We won't be undersold.
So
Pie in the face.
Forgot about
You opened me up to another bukkake joke.
that. Oh, no.
we can't have. By the way, reach Sarah at Bukkake. Sarah
No.
at bukkake.com.
No, please.
Every time I'm here, I say that.
We can't have that. No. Okay, here's a goal for you, Sarah. Please stop saying words like that. That will
He
make
said pie in the face.
that will make my niece search up words.
No.
No, she needs to know this stuff.
Yeah, it's a real life.
Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. See you guys in a month. Take care. Be blessed. And always remember,
You can do this.
how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
That's a really good quote.
Thank you.
Good job, Travis.
Came up with it myself.
That's on my habit tracker.
Habit tracker.
Habit tracker.
Goalbuddycast. 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 Goalbuddycast.